All right, guys. Whoops. Okay. Make sure my camera's done. All right. So, hope everybody had a good day. Let me wait for another little bit. Just give me one more minute or so. You know what I love about this camera? If y'all notice, like, the way I look, how clear I look, and then in the background looks more fuzzy. It's supposed to be like that cinematic look. I like it. I'm gonna turn down my mic a little bit. All right. What's up, Denise? So, well, I guess I should introduce myself first. Huh. I don't like. Hello, okay. I guess that's okay. I just don't want to yell on the mic either, because I don't want to redline it. You're supposed to. They tell you when you're looking at your mic, you're supposed to tickle the red line. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to be loud enough to tickle the red line. See, that was too loud. Okay. Good. All right, let's go. Hi, my name is Daryl Phillips, owner of Whirlpool Gaming, and what we do here is listen to talk. Today, I don't have a subject matter so much as I just want to get some things off my head, as it were. You guys are more than welcome to throw in your 2 cents about whatever. I don't care. If I see a comment or something, I'll make a comment if it's something interesting to talk about. But other than that, I don't have a subject matter for today. Other than it's hot as hell outside, and it's humid, and it's awful, and it's 100 degrees out here. Man, I tell you, Sophia had a rough day today. She came home, and I let her vent. It was one thing I should be clarified on about venting. Something that I guess I don't really clarify very well. So let me explain to you something about venting. Everyone's got their own way to vent, but there are rules to this. You don't want to smash something. You don't want to abuse. You don't want to yell at someone that isn't involved in the situation. But venting in general is the idea of getting stuff off your head about whatever's going on in your head, so that you are, 1, calm, 2, that you can think straight, 3, you can be filled with information. Okay. Well, Sophia came home, and man, she had a venting session today that was so freaking funny. Dude, y'all, I know Sophia looks like a good little girl, but she's got a potty mouth when she wants to. My God. It's so funny, man. One of the comments she made, I can't even repeat on here, because it's... But she had a rough day, and so she vented today, and she was like, I don't care. Blah, 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 blah. It was so great. It was epic. I wish I would have had a camera on, just for posterity reasons. Anyway, but, you know, I talk about my life a lot, and a lot of things I talk about, so some of the things are kind of sad, because I had sad things happen. What's up, Lori? But you know, not all of my life has been terrible. There has been good moments. There's been funny moments too. Like I'll tell you guys a cute story about me and my sister Jacqueline. I think I might have been 8 years old, maybe 8 years old, 7 years old, maybe. But we were really young, okay? And me and Jacqueline had been bad. We had been stupid. Hey, what's up, Tanya? We had been stupid. And so we got in trouble, and we got a spanking. Me and Jacqueline vowed we were going to run away. Okay? Packed our bags, And my mom and dad were just watching this whole event happen. My mom's like, "Go ahead, we'll see you. We'll see you later." And my mom, God bless her heart, she knew we weren't going to run away. We were angry, we were mad, and we were salty. It's simple as that. And so my mom knew that all she had to do was buy time, that we were going to get tired. We were young. And so sure enough, we got young, and it's like, damn it. And we woke up the next day, we were fine. But it's those kind of cute stories that like, it's like, really, Daryl? We both had our bags packed and everything. We were going to sneak out the window out in the middle of the night, like as if my parents couldn't see us packing stuff. The silly stuff that you try to do when you're younger. Or I'll tell you something funny. So when I was in 8th grade, and Christy can be a verification of this one because she was involved. So my family used to come up there to see us in Wisconsin, and we used to come down here. Well, at this point, we were up there. This was during, let's see, October, I guess. And I was in basketball, but I had been on the F list. All right. And what ended up happening was, see, like the school had this thing where if you get all your teachers to sign off that you're passing the class, then you can you can go play sports or whatever it is that you need to be doing. You need to do, because it's no pass, no play thing. All right. Well, what ended up happening was I was failing this one class. And I had gotten all the signatures but one. And I couldn't get the other signature because I wasn't passing. My mom warned me. And I'm like, crap. And I wanted to be ungrounded so badly too. That's the other thing. So I, being the smart person, even back then that I just wasn't quite as much of a veteran as, I wasn't wise, let's just say it that way. I knew I wasn't, but I didn't pass that class, okay? I knew I wasn't going to get the signature, but I showed my mom an older version of the slip in which I was passing the class, and what I did was I signed, I had a couple of them, because I told you I was on the F list a lot. So what ended up happening was I put the pieces of paper together, and I traced one of the signatures that I needed to have on an older one, okay? And it was good enough to show my mom. But it didn't change the fact I couldn't go to the game. I mean, it wasn't gonna work. In other words, it wasn't gonna work if I still had to go home, because my mom was going to ask why. Well, I knew that my aunt and uncle, Christy's mom and dad, and my 3 cousins, Christy, Chuck, and Beth, they were going to come and visit us. But the timing of it was that they were going to be arriving right around the time as the game started. So I knew my parents weren't going to be able to go. But I did this full Leonardo DiCaprio acting job. And y'all, it was such a good acting job that I sold it. I literally sold it. My parents bought it hook, line, and sinker. To the point where I made my mom feel guilty because she couldn't come to the game. Okay? So I'm thinking, God, I am so out of the woods now, baby. Right? Oh, but Sean is also involved in this story. Sean used to help me lie a lot to my parents. I don't know why he did that for me, but he's always loved me. It's my boy. But anyway, so I knew I knew that the bus, because we had to go down from Luck, Wisconsin to that they were going to be down in Somerset, Wisconsin. And since none of you know anything about Minnesota, Wisconsin, you have no idea how far that distance that is. So it's a long distance. I knew that they weren't going to be back from the game till 11:30, maybe 12 o'clock at night. Well, that means I was going to have to stay at the school for 7 hours. Okay? Because I had to stay at the school. I had nowhere else to go. So I stayed there. I was hungry as hell, and I mean, it was, but I thought I was going to get away with it, okay? So anyway, fast forward to the end. I felt like it was going to be the end of my life. You guys ever do something so dumb that you just want to hide in like a lake of fire? Like you just want to bury your head in a lake of fire and just pretend nothing exists anymore? That was one of these moments. So the bus arrives back from the game, and Sean comes down because he was in basketball with me. Sean comes down the stairs, and he has this look of this ghost, pale look. And I immediately knew something was very, very wrong. And Sean goes, "Daryl, your parents were at the game." I said, "What?" I'm like, oh my God, this is not happening. This is not fucking happening. And they said, not only that, your aunt and uncle, my Christy check. Oh my God, it was so bad. I didn't even want to go home. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was like, Sean, let my dad take you home. And I got lost somewhere. I don't even want to. I was so sick to my stomach. The instant sickness to my stomach. Just the instant, like, I know I have been caught red effing handed. Not only trying to get away with a lie, but an elaborate plan to deceive my parents. So I get in a car. My dad is hopping mad, and he's looking at me, and that look of just wait till your friend gets out the car. I'm like, can we go drop him off first? And he's like, no, we're gonna drop you off first. I'm gonna go drop him off, and I'll be back to you later. I'm like, oh, I am in so much trouble. I'm gonna die tonight. I'm gonna freaking die. Well, anyway. I was so embarrassed. I couldn't even look at my aunt and uncle. I had no joy in them being there. And they were giving me so much crap. Oh, Daryl, how was the game tonight? Boy, how well did you do? Well, you did really well in the game. Just give me all sorts of hard time. And just the utter sheer terror and embarrassment. Just feeling so, I was so embarrassed. I wanted to crawl in a hole. Well, my dad comes home, and he was going to come. He was going to spank me. And my mom's like, okay, Jackie, I think he got the lesson. Dude, he's look at him. He's freaking embarrassed. Like, he just got not just embarrassed from us, but embarrassed from in front of his family. Like, so he goes, and I didn't keep in mind that I was a teenager going right in the middle of my puberty. And so I was eating a lot of food. I was a very active teenager. And so my mom was like, he literally starved himself. Like, he tortured him. My mom sat down with me for a second, and she's like, why? Why? You would have gotten in trouble for being on the F list. You just would have been grounded still. But now you've done something so stupid, right? Anyway, you ask Christy, to this day, she'll still mention it. She'll be like, yeah, I remember that basketball game we went to. I'm like, thanks, Christy. So to this day, I still get shit at 45 years old from that. I just thought y'all wanted to know what kind of deceiving, smart child I was. Hey, look, I did get away with it. The thing is, I went too far. My acting was too far. Do y'all understand? Like, it was so good that my mom actually felt guilty enough to try to hurry up and come to the game and bring my family there. Damn, I chose the wrong line of profession, didn't I? But check this out. I'll tell you another deceiving story. So when I was in ninth grade, okay, next year, I had refined I was always trying to get over my parents to go outside the house, like go do things I wasn't supposed to do. I was always like that. I was always trying to go and do not even bad things, y'all. Just stuff that I wanted to do because a lot of times I was grounded because I was on the F list. Okay, so I kept trying to get over on my parents. Well, this time I did get over my parents. This story, I got over my parents good. They did not find out this story until I told them when I was 20, and I was married by then. I told my mom, gotcha. I couldn't wait to tell my mother that story when I was out of the statute of limitations of my butt. But anyway, so check this out. So my mom, of course, didn't trust me as far as she could throw me. She knew I would she knew how smart I was, and she was just as smart, so it was this cat and mouse game with me and my parents, okay? And when I was younger, I wasn't very good at it because I didn't think things through sometimes, and so I didn't think of the end result, okay? But in this case, I did. I know as parents, you do not approve of my actions, but as children, I know you do approve of my actions. You'll be proud of this one. So, in Wisconsin, they get a lot of snow up there. I love snowmobiling. I absolutely love snowmobiling. It is so much fun, y'all. Well, anyway, so my friend David, who lived right across the street from the school, okay? He had a snowmobile, and he used to ride it all the time. I loved riding his snowmobile, okay? He used to take me, and I'd get on the back, and it was so much fun. We'd go on the frozen lakes and everything. It was so much fun. Okay. Well, right around the Christmas concert, I had to play a trumpet trio with me. It was me and Kathleen and Miss Kopetsky, my band teacher. Okay, he was also a trumpet player. So we were going to be playing along with the choir for Joy to the World, which, by the way, if I was talking to my father, I could show y'all that video, because I have that on video. I have that trumpet trio with the choir, and we played Joy to the World. Okay. So, but Miss Holtz, the choir teacher, needed me to stay after school. If you gave me a single opportunity to get away with something, I would take it. And in this case, I was like, stay after school. Oh, I'm going to go over to David's house. So anyway, my mom didn't believe me, of course. Like, no, you're just going to go ride snowmobile or whatever before your concert or whatever. You know you're not supposed to be doing that. You're grounded or whatever. So anyway, actually I wasn't grounded. But my mom was like, you're not going to David's house before your concert, basically, is the thing. Okay, I actually wasn't. That was one of the best report cards I ever had that year. That's right. My first semester of that was a damn good report card I got. One of the only ones I ever had. Anyway, but check this out. So, I went, and my mom did her little check, because of course she was friends with all the teachers, and she's like, she kind of like, it's like that thing of like, okay, fine, this checks out, and like look at me light eyes, like, I know you have a plan. I know there's a reason why you're happy about staying after school, Daryl. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so my mom said, if I find out you're lying, your dad's gonna find out. You know that, right? I said, yeah, I know. I'm not lying. And so I knew Miss Holtz only needed me to stay for about 5 minutes. By the way, that's the part my mom didn't check on. And so, sure enough, I went to David's house. But my mom gave me. I knew my parents. I knew my parents were going to check on everything. If I was a minute late, they would know something's wrong. If I had too much snow on me, which by the way, snowmobiles kick up a lot of snow, they knew what I would be doing. So I had to be very, very careful with this. But that night was fun, man. Y'all, dude, we did some bad things that night. We went 120. He had this souped up Polaris 500, right? And we did 120 miles an hour down Main Street in Luck, Wisconsin. Okay. He had one of those. He had a racing one. He did that. He loved racing his snowmobiles. He did that for competitions and stuff. And they have this stupid contest called snowmobile skipping. And y'all are gonna think this is crazy. You know what snowmobile skipping is? It's where you go into the springtime. It's only held during springtime when the snow is melting. Only after the snow is melting does this happen. So you get the lakes, of course, that are melting too, and the lakes start to have water in them. And the idea is to have your snowmobile go as fast as you can across the water with the skis until your snowmobiles sink. They have to get them out. It's a crazy contest up there, right? Well, anyway, we went 120 miles an hour, got chased by the snowmobile cops. Yeah, the snowmobile cops with sirens and everything. And David was so bad at it as at freaking driving these things that we sat there and we went on the trail and we knew they were behind us. And see, David had to run because he forgot his stupid license with him. And I'm like, David, what are you doing, dude? So anyway, he was going to be in deep shit. We go in the middle of the lake, turn off the snowmobile, so you can't see nothing. And by the way, if you've ever been in the middle of a lake in the winter, it is pitch black dark. I don't care if you're in a city. It is pitch black dark. So these snowmobile cops are we sat there in the middle, quiet. Just no light. Nothing. We let them go off in the distance or whatever, and then we finally drove off. That happened that night. My mom never knew about that. Not until I was 20 years old or 21 years old or something like that. And so it was getting closer time to the choir concert, so I had to get ready. I had to get there and stuff. But I knew my mom and dad, where I came from mattered. In other words, if I came from the direction of David's house, my mom and dad were never going to believe I went over to his house. Okay? They gave me strict orders not to go over to his house. Okay? They told me not to. It's called obedience to your parents. For any of you who don't understand that. Okay? And I disobeyed. Period. Okay? I'm not giving excuses for it. I had nothing to do with grounding. They wanted me to be prepared for my choir concert. Okay. So I knew that they were going to check that. This is how smart I was even then. I knew this. So I'm like, okay, how do I convince them? How do I get to where I need to go without it looking bad? Okay. It had started snowing about 2 hours previous. So it was starting to snow and build up. Okay. It was pretty deep snow too. It get built up pretty quickly. Well, that was my savings grace. I told you that snowmobiles kick up a lot of snow on you, especially on the bottom part of your leg. Well, I go through the woods. I had pantsuit on. I had my dress pants on, I had my dress everything on for my choir concert. I get through the woods, get over by the school, finally get in. My mom, of course, like I said to you, they looked for everything, my parents, because they knew I wasn't. I'm smart enough to get away with stuff that other people couldn't get away with. That most kids don't even think about that kind of thing. What's the first thing my mom said? why you have so much snow on the bottom of your pants? And I'm like, it snowed outside. She had to accept that as an answer because it was. I said, what's snowing on the bottom of your pants? Did you go snowmobiling, Mom? Of course, I made a joke. My mom never bought it. My mom never got it. I countered it with that to my mom. Then you got snowmobile, or you got snow on the bottom of your pants, Mom. Did you go out with David too? I could just accuse you. And she couldn't say nothing. That's how smart I was even then. I got away with that. Until I told my mom, I got away with that. I was very proud of that one. I'm still proud of that one. I gotta be honest. No, I'm not telling you to disobey your parents, okay? Children. If there's ever a kid that watches this, I'm not telling you that you should disobey your parents. But if you're going to disobey your parents, do it right. Just saying. Do it right. Go for it. Think it through. It's like a military program. Think it through. Y'all have no respect for me now, huh? Makes me sad. What? I'm always talking about other things. Don't want to know what kind of life I had back then. Denise always asked me, what was your life like when you were a kid? Well, I was a conniving, sneak, smarty pants who really was genius level smart, and I unfortunately used it for devious things. What? It was before the internet, dude. Y'all don't be judging me, people. Anyway, what y'all think about that story? Is it bad? Am I a bad person? Does it make me evil? Makes me happy. That's what it makes me. Y'all call me evil all you want to. That was funny. That was a effing funny story. What? I'll tell you a sad story, though. Well, sadder. I've told this story before, sort of. Why should I tell that story? I had a lot of stories. Okay, so I'll tell you another story. I'll tell you how crappy homelessness is. Right around the time my mom died, or right afterwards, actually, I decided to skip out of town. I wasn't going to be in Minnesota. No way. I couldn't be there. Yep. Oh, I'll tell you. Okay, fine. I'll tell you one with my sister. Another one with my sister. Okay. So right around the time we moved to the place in the downtown, y'all need to understand how Big Luck, Wisconsin is. It has 1,000 people. Okay, that's great. By the way, I like that story. So my sister and I were like Russia and the United States. We were always trying to find ways of getting each other in trouble. Yes, I was. Oh, but my sister was no better. She was a naughty girl too. But we used to have these wars. Me and Jacqueline used to have these wars, okay? Where we would find ways of getting each other in trouble. So the other person would have to do their chores. Okay? Sometimes, a couple times, every once in a while, we would find an allied ground. And we would use, because remember, Jacqueline is my DNA. She's not their child either, as far as DNA wise. That is my sister, which means she's just as smart as me. I assure you. Jacqueline was smart. Okay, she got straight A's during school. Let me put it that way. She won the presidential Clinton thing. The only reason why I never won that is because I didn't get the grades in school. I got everything else right. The state tests, and the national test, I was in the 109, 110 percentile every subject but one. Okay, Jacqueline was the same way. But every once in a while, me and Jacqueline would come together as the evil empire. And this almost became a debacle, to be honest with you. But Jacqueline had come up with some money. And my mom had a policy about money. When people give you money, you need to tell me, one, to protect us, because you never know why people give you money, why your friends giving you money, what are you trading for it, you selling drugs, just being a mom, okay? In other words, you don't just get to come in the house with a bunch of money and me not question why you have money. Now, people go, well, that's old-fashioned. No, it's called being a good parent, thanks. But check this out. So Jacqueline wanted to spend the money without reporting it to mom. But she knew that if she did that without my permission, I'd snitch her out so fast it wasn't even funny. Oh yeah, it was like that between me and Jacqueline. We were so competitive. We were looking for anything, so she had no choice but get to go through me. So she comes up to me, she goes, hey, I came up with this money. It was like, I don't even know how much it was, to be honest with you. She goes, hey, look, let's get on our bikes and go to Milltown. And we most certainly were not allowed to do that. Again, you don't know anything about Wisconsin. Maybe I'll put a map up for you guys. Do I even have a Google Earth on here right now? It was a distance. It was a little distance. It was 3, 4, 5, 6 miles. Okay. All right. Okay. We most certainly were not supposed to go to Milltown without my parents' permission. But if we had asked my mom and dad permission, first of all, they would have said no, because they were about to go somewhere. They had to go somewhere to go shopping or something. They had to leave, and they were going to leave us home. And we were old enough, we were teenagers, we could be home. But we had rules, real rules. Like, you're not going to be, you can go ride your bikes, but do not dare go to other places, don't go to people's houses, all that other stuff. Like, I want to know where you're at all times. Remember, this was before the cell phone, so parents didn't have access to cell phones back then. And y'all my age will remember that. That kids today don't understand that one of the reasons why parents had to be so strict sometimes is because of that reason right there, safety, you know? So check this out. So everything went to plan. They left. We knew exactly how long they were going to be gone. We knew exactly how long the bike ride was going to take, and we knew exactly our lies that we were going to tell if we did get caught. Because we did not think there was nothing in our head that could have convinced us that you would have never been able to convince me and Jacqueline that there was a possibility that we could have ever got caught. All right? It was like that. So we thought we were in the red, or we were in the green. Let's go. Let's do the damn thing. So we did. We got on the bike, got what we wanted. We just went and got some candy bars and stuff. It was just a way to just do naughty things. It wasn't even that big of a deal. Like it just was a way for us to get over on our parents. That's it. It was just our way to do that. Then they think they're so smart. Well, we're going to show them we're smarter. And we were, except for one tiny little problem. Tiny. We leave Milltown, get back on the road. Jacqueline falls off her bike and sprains her ankle. Now we have a real fucking problem. And she was crying, dude. Jacqueline was in the U.S. military, okay? She don't cry. Okay? Jacqueline never cries. Not like that. So I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? And now, being a brother, I didn't love my sister, okay, just so you know. I now was worried about her. We had to get her to a doctor, but now, on top of it, because Jacqueline's like telling me, dude, we cannot get caught. And I'm like, Jacqueline, the last thing I care about right now, I was like, I almost want to get caught because I don't know how I'm going to pull this off. I thought it was over. It was over right there. Well, I gathered my strength and my wits about me, and I got on my bike. I got on my bike. No, how did it work? Okay. I put Jacqueline on her bike, and I pushed her at the same time as I'm on my bike. So I have my bike and I have Jacqueline's bike at the same time. And that didn't work quite well at first. So we decided she was going to hold on to me. I was going to hold onto my bike on this side, and she was going to try to hold it on the other side. So we walk like this. We walk like this for 4 miles, at least. 4 miles like that. It took a long time. Okay? Keep in mind we're out in the country. Okay? We needed to get to this one street for it to be believable that we weren't doing something bad. They didn't mind. They didn't like it, but they didn't mind if we went around the block. There's like this block area that we would go around sometimes. That would have been an explanation they would have accepted. But if we couldn't even make it there, we were in deep shit. And we were watching for Dad. That we knew Dad would pass by. And if Dad didn't see us on our way, he would come look for us. That's a fact. And he would come look for us on the route that he knew we were supposed to be on. So if we weren't on it, we were in trouble. So all these things were in my mind. I'm thinking, I got to get here again. So I pushed myself. Oh my God. Holy shit. So we walked and walked and walked and walked and walked. And actually, I ended up getting all the way down to the highway. Way farther than I even thought I could. And sure enough, as we go to turn the corner, and we're going up County Road in, Dad passes by, and Dad sees the situation. And of course, our saving grace was the fact that Jacqueline is like literally on one leg, and my dad did not care. None of the rest of it mattered. When they had to get to the hospital, they said he asked me. He goes, put Jacqueline's bike in the back. Get home as soon as you can. Blah blah blah. He didn't even ask me questions. Well, anyway, fast forward to later on. Okay, and I'm still feeling guilty. I know there's a possibility they're probably going to get in trouble. And to be honest with you, at that point, I just wanted Jacqueline to be okay. And so Jacqueline gets home, and we didn't say anything to each other, not even a look. But a little bit later on, when we knew everybody was calming down and they were all away from us, and I asked her, did they suspect anything? She said they didn't suspect a thing. We got away with that. I'm dead serious, dude. By that freaking dumb luck, you can call that the grace of something. I don't know about God, because we were trying to be deceitful, but isn't that great? Craziness, right? You know, it's funny. I think about those stories now. God, I really thought I was just for a person with as low self-esteem as I had back then, there was one thing I always knew I had, in my ability to outsmart people. That I could be devious if I wanted to be. Like, I could really convince people. I could make a person look this way while I'm doing another thing over here. I would have made a magnificent thief, to be honest with you. I never did go into that particular realm. I was always trying to work on my mind by getting over on people, and not over on people, but over my parents. My parents were my target. They were the enemy. You know what I mean? You know, my mom and I had before she passed away in 2002. 2002. We had a conversation about that. She said, she's like, I cannot believe you got away with something like that. She joked with me one day, and she goes, you know, when you come back here for Thanksgiving, we're gonna have a paddle waiting for you. That's what we're gonna give you for Christmas. I'm like, oh, thanks, Mom. She goes, I can't believe, because my mom and dad my mom was no dummy. Neither was my dad. They knew. And so I used to do things like, when I was grounded, I was not allowed to watch TV or movies or anything else. Even when they would go, and they know, see, the thing about punishing a child, well, punishing anyone really, it's not about imprisonment, okay? Okay, it's not about imprisonment. It's not even about hurting or spanking. It's about taking away the thing that they love the most so they understand it's a punishment. In this case, I hated spankings, okay? But I hated grounding worse. Yet there is this part of me that I didn't like because of my past, because of my biological past, because of my way, way past, that spanking was a terrible ordeal for me. And so spanking eventually didn't work. However, so when they would ground me, they would tell me, don't watch TV, don't watch movies and stuff. So one of the things they would also take away from me is they knew I loved to go to the Twin Cities to shop, because I loved the city. I loved all that stuff. And so I wasn't allowed to go with them. It was a real punishment for me. I hated it because I didn't get to go have fun, and it was pure, absolute FOMO. They were punishing me with FOMO. That's what they were doing. Okay? Pretty smart parenting. But I'm like, well, while you're gone, because I knew how long it took. It took an hour drive to get there, hour drive to get back. I knew they were going to be gone for at least 6 hours. So I'm like, okay. So what I would do is I would watch movies all day. I would do my housework. I had to do what I needed to do. But I would do my housework. But see, my dad had this little trap set up for me. It never worked on me, by the way. I knew what he was doing. He thought I didn't know. It's his words that came out of his mouth that it only took one time. I don't think he meant to say it like this, but I got the message. The first time they did that, he said, I will know exactly, and I will know if you put in a movie. I will know exactly if you put in a movie. Well, how could that be possible? Oh, you're using the counter. Okay. So what I would do is I would watch the whole movie and put it back exactly where he had it stopped. They never caught me. Not one time. I did that every time I was grounded. Never one time did I follow that order. I always watched movies while they were gone. One time, by the way, this story I'm not proud of. I really am not. One time, it was towards the end, before I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and I was really, really doing stupid stuff. This was one of those moments where I did stupid stuff. My parents had gone to the Twin Cities, and I was grounded. I decided to ride my bike somewhere to a friend of mine's house. Went and got them and brought them over to my house, and we freaking sit there and smoked weed in my parents' house. I had to keep the windows open the entire time. All of the windows open the entire time. They left. Now, so that when I got back, I was higher than fucking hell. And I had eaten just about everything in the house. That's so bad, y'all. But that's where I was in life. I wasn't evil. Like, when I say I did bad things, that's what I mean. I wasn't evil. I was just a strange one. And that's how I dealt with things. I think you know what it is. I think a lot of people like me, we know there's something wrong with us, and so we act the part. And I think that's what it was. I think that I didn't know what was going on at the time, and I think that, to be honest with you, I absolutely 100%. I tried to play the part. People thought I was crazy, and so I acted the part. You know, I told you guys these stories because I think that there's this viewpoint that people have of me that they don't understand that I haven't always been this way. And while those are funny stories and everything, but it goes to show you how, I'm not going to use the word unhinged. I wasn't unhinged. I mean, doing things like that, a lot of kids do things like that. But the difference, I think, is when I was a kid, even before I was diagnosed with bipolar, as things were getting worse and worse, I just didn't think things through. Or sometimes I would brilliantly think something through. Okay? To the point where that I wouldn't pay attention to other things. I kind of had like a one-sidedness about me. I couldn't multitask with the damn. I got a lot of questions about my life. Daryl, where are you from? Daryl, what was your life like as a kid? Daryl, what are you doing now? Those sorts of things. And me and Denise have talked about this many times, that you couldn't even put my life in a single book. I have lived 5 lifetimes. I have different sections to my life that are literally different sections that you could go, wow, how could all that have happened in that time? Because they did. So I've been through all of these different things. I've seen all of these different things. And so even though those are funny stories, it is telling that my first thought wasn't to do good. It was to get away with things. That was my first thought. How can I get over on my parents? At no point did I think about pleasing them. And as I became angrier and angrier as a teenager, the craziness got worse. Skipping school a lot to go have sex with my girlfriend. I did. And then having a nervous breakdown at 17. Then getting everything taken from me. I didn't ever thought about my future. One time, there was this moment, I think it was like in 10th grade, 11th grade, where 10th grade, where I stopped for a second. I was thinking about my future, and then I was thinking about how close it was relatively to my situation, to how close it was for me to graduate high school. And that was the last time I ever thought about it again. It was the scariest thing that I've ever thought about. But by that point in my life, that was the scariest thing I had ever thought about in my life. My future. because I didn't know. Because I hated school. I hated the kids at school. I had no future at that point. I was expected to go on and do great things. And my mom would be the first to tell you, and I'm going to tell you. My mom can't tell you because she's passed away, but my mom never forced me to be something I didn't. She just saw something in me, like Sophia did, like some of you guys do. And that scared the crap out of me at the time. I still was so wet behind the ears, still so immature. I was lost already. And needless to say, I would have no idea that my future would involve homelessness, rape, prostitution, starvation, loneliness, hopelessness. Even at that point, I had no idea about bipolar disorder, PTSD, all the things that I talk about with you guys. And a low self-esteem, I didn't really get that I had one. I didn't understand that. Thought people just didn't like me. Didn't have many friends. The ones I had were considered losers too. Sean was considered a loser. He was judged by something he never did. His brother did. He was judged by his brother's sin. Sean's brother did something bad, and unfortunately that's a little town, and Sean got judged for it. So my best friend was also a loser. And so, the girls weren't really into me because of that. Although I found out years later that all those girls liked me. Thanks for that. Now that I'm old. But they didn't. I was considered a loser because I was not a part of the popular kids. I was weird. I was strange. I was definitely misunderstood. I didn't even know me. I think that's one of the reasons why I work so hard for people, to try to get them to understand, and why working on yourself is so vital, because it's not fair, but the truth is, perception is reality. If people perceive you to be violent, then you're violent. If people perceive you to be, pardon my French, but if people perceive you to be a whore, you're never going to change that perspective. You have to remove yourself from the situation. Go change yourself. And go get to know people that don't know you from that whatever time period that you did that in, or that you or looked at like that. I know a couple people from high school, one being Stacy Jensen, who is one of my high school compatriots, very, very successful bar owner in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. In fact, I think J.D. Vance was just in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Pretty certain of it. So was Kamala, anyway. But Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and that's where I did my state solo ensemble for my choir, and that's where it was located, where I did my trumpet stuff and my competitions and stuff. But Stacy is one of those people that's rare, very rare person. Stacy has blonde hair, blue eyes. She's about 6'1", maybe taller. Her mama was taller. And she is model beautiful. She's one of my best friends. She's a good friend of mine. She's awesome. She supports me. She's a successful bar owner. And I love the fact that I think on her Facebook page it says that if you're not weird, you're probably not my friend. That's a genuine person. She's very happily engaged. I hope she gets married soon. Better get married soon, Stacy. Shame on you. That's a good looking guy you got. Anyway, but she's awesome. But that's very rare. A lot of people that you meet are very superficial. They don't look at substance. They don't talk about substance. They don't want to talk about anything. They just want to know what's on Netflix the next day. And unless you're like, I don't have time to watch TV right now. I just don't. It's not being rude, but I just don't. And so that's why I work so hard. Because I remember what it was like to be called a loser. And I have no friends and stuff. And so that's what I try to provide here. If you don't have friends, if you don't have people to talk to, just know that I know what it's like. There's a single thing you go through that I don't know a little bit about, that you can tell me anything. And that's the point. So, those are just my thoughts for today. I hope that you guys have a good night's sleep. I hope that you guys really soak up what I say to you guys. Not because I want to be right, but because I want you to be right, you know. Be safe when you're traveling. Be safe when you get there. You never know what you may find, whether it be good or bad. You know, you reject the bad, you accept the good. Right? Be understanding of one another, not just from your perspective, but from theirs. You cannot expect for people to come to you at all times. Some people are like I was and don't even know how to get up. Had it not been for Sofia Quinones and her little dorky daughter, Amanda. That's right, Amanda, you're a dork. Anyway, Amanda watches it. I know she does. And she was very happy that I said the happy birthday to her the other day. But if it wasn't for those two, I would be dead. That isn't a theory. Okay? I love all of you. But remember, I'm not God, and neither are you. Sometimes I think you guys forget that I cannot be everywhere all at once. I'm not here to save you. I'm here to help you save yourself. Okay? But don't make yourself feel bad if you can't do something one day. I mean, if you don't got the money to help someone with money, it's okay. If you don't got the time to talk to somebody for a minute because you've got something else to do, to make yourself feel better, you just explain yourself. That's it. Don't be rude. Don't get mad at them either. Remember, life is fleeting. You're not promised your next breath. So take now to go outside your box, discover new things about yourself, and you never know what you may find. You may find you could have a whole nother career and you never realized you could have it. You ever think of that? So, till tomorrow, have a good night's sleep. And may the Lord light guide, and may the Lord of light guide you in all things. Goodbye.